Here's the store we're going to look at today in this video, and honestly, this store has made me almost completely rethink everything I thought I knew about print on demand. As you guys know, in this series, we are going to be reviewing stores, breaking them down in 6 different categories. Our first is the homepage brand, the second is product page brand, third is social media presence, fourth is the niche choices on the store, fifth is the product selections, and sixth is the designs. So this store is rebelmaiden.com. It's a pretty cool little t-shirt and hoodie brand for women who like to ride motorcycles. And if you are someone that is just getting started, make sure to check out my free course. The link is down in the description. There's over 20 step-by-step videos that is going to show you how to start your store and get started with Facebook ads. Also, make sure to check out the POD Ninjas Facebook group. There's over 50,000 store members there, as well as more training from me. That is where I'm getting all of these stores for these videos here. So if you want to get your store reviewed, join the group, look for this post, and submit yours, and you might end up in a video here. So like I said, it is rebelmaiden.com. You guys can go check it out. When it comes to the homepage brand, I actually gave them an 8. One of the things that I think that they did really well is that they have a great top of the fold look. If you don't know what top of the fold is, it's basically what you see on your screen when you first land on the store without even having to scroll. You can also see here on desktop that it also looks quite nice. They have a nice header image at the top showcasing their products. They have some information about the store right here, and overall it is very nicely done. I also think they have a nice logo. You can see here that they've chosen a really niche specific font to make an R and an M, and then they wrote Rebel Maiden below it. Really clean, and overall it's done really well. Next, they also have a good story about the brand. So here on the home page, they've written a nice little paragraph here. Sometimes people get a little bit too crazy here. They write really long paragraphs that get a little bit too emotional, and they think their products are like saving the world and things like that, but I think that this store has done it nicely and in a tasteful way. Now, the one thing I don't like on the store is the dark colors on the background, and that's why they got an 8. You can see here as you scroll through that this black color that really makes up the background of the store, I believe it sort of takes away from what they're trying to do, and you'll see more examples of this when we get to the product page in a few minutes. Also, on the bottom of the store, there is an image of the store's creator, and it is not sized well. You can see if we go back to the store and we scroll down that the image really doesn't look right. It seems like the image is designed for mobile, because here on my cell phone it actually looks quite nice. Next up is product page brand. I actually only gave them a 4 out of 10. I think they have some boring product images. I also think that there's a generic product description. It's basically the same thing on all of their products. And the black background that I talked about before makes the page seem a little bit outdated. Let me show you what I mean. So see the black color around the entire background? Sometimes when people do that and then they have a mock-up like what you're seeing here with the white background, it makes the store, in my opinion, look outdated. If you remember like 15 years ago, what websites used to look like, I feel like they looked like this. A lot of times they had a background color on the store or on the website, and then their images all had the white boxes around them. I don't think it looks that great, and I think if you had a white background here, this would look a lot cleaner. When it comes to product description, they did write a paragraph here. However, they have this same paragraph with different wording on all of their products, and then after that, there's just some generic bullets from the print-on-demand company here. Typically with product descriptions, what I like to do is try and get some images in there just to kind of break up some of that text. You can also format the text a little bit. If you take a look at some of my other store review videos here on my channel, you'll see some examples of that. Next up is social media. This store got a 7 out of 10. They've actually done a nice job. They have a good mix of promo posts and engagement posts. I just think overall they need to elevate the posting, and I'll show you what I mean with some of the graphics that they have on their store. I think they can be better. I also think some of their copy on their posts, like what they've actually written, could also be better to encourage a little bit more engagement. But they are active on social media. You can see here if we go to their Facebook page, the last post was 19 hours ago, which is great. You can see that if we continue to scroll, they had a post on the 19th as well with 229 likes. So they are active here. They are posting. They have a shop set up. They are doing a good job at actually posting content to get people to engage. If we scroll back up to the top as well, you can see they have a nice looking header image up at the top. A lot of times people with their Facebook pages, they create header images that are not sized correctly, and you can't even see the image. Again, if you want to see examples of that, check out some of the other videos here in this store review series. But overall, I think their Facebook page is set up pretty nicely. You can see on Instagram here, they don't have as many likes on Facebook. They have I think it was, about 2,000. Here on Instagram, they have about 500 followers. Their bio is set up nicely. They have a little description here about what they are with the link to their store. And you can see that they're posting very similar stuff to what they have on their Facebook. Now, when it comes to their actual rating, one of the things that I said was I feel like they need to just elevate what they're doing a little bit. And what I mean by that is some of these images to me are just a little bit low quality, right? This image here with the red background and the black text, and honestly it's a little bit blurry on my end here. I'm not sure if that carries through on your end to be able to see, but it's just overall not that professional in my opinion. I think stuff like this as well, with just this black text overlaid on it with the red Rebel Maiden thing on the bottom, I don't think is executed well. If you think back to some of the graphics that they had on their store, if we go back to the homepage, I think they've done a nice job here at actually having some high quality graphics that showcase the products and things like that. And I think if they were able to carry some of that over onto their Instagram page, then they might be in a little bit of a better spot when it comes to Instagram. Like I said, if you want to check out some of the other videos in this series, I've definitely shown Instagrams that do a really nice job at actually posting some professional looking content. Now, the other thing I said was their post copy. Okay, whenever you're posting on Instagram, let me see if I can find a good post here. It's best to try and ask somebody a question, right? This post copy here says when your Win sisters call you up and ask if you want to ride, right? So basically they're just trying to make a funny statement here about the picture that they're posting, right? A lot of times what I do with Instagram is I'll ask a question, right? That'll elicit responses, and the more responses you get, that means you're getting engagement on your post, which means your post has the potential to actually go viral. What you could also do is create some sort of a grid, right, where you're showing multiple photos and you're asking people to choose which one they like best. So for this niche here, what they could do is they could show 4 different motorcycles and they could have the audience pick one, right? And again, it's just silly little things that you can post about to get people to engage, and that'll help your page ultimately to grow. Next up is the niche choice. I gave them a 10. I think the niche is great. It is, women who like motorcycles, women who are veterans. It's definitely a passionate niche. It definitely represents something that people would be very proud of, and overall I think they've done a nice job here. Earlier in the video, when I said that this store is potentially making me rethink everything I thought I knew about print on demand, what I really meant was, if you've watched my channel, one of the things I always talk about is that you should not be creating like a clothing line, right? A lot of times people will develop a logo and they'll just throw it on a bunch of products. They'll put it on t-shirts, hoodies, and hats, and mugs, and they'll create their own clothing line, right? This store has kind of done that, but they've also done something else that I always talk about, which is choosing a great niche, right? They've built a clothing line, but they're doing it inside of a niche, right? They're actually making their own line of clothing, but you can see on everything they have their brand name on it, right? So instead of just creating a hoodie like this and writing Rebel Maiden on it and trying to sell, they've added other things. They've written motorcycles, Born to Ride. They have a picture of a motorcycle with wings on it. The whole thing is really tastefully done, and this is a great job of someone actually creating a clothing line within a niche. One of my first stores ever was actually this exact same thing. One of the first stores I created back in 2016 was a clothing line inside of a niche, and you can check out this video here where I talk about how I made my first $5,000 with print on demand on that store. Next up is the product selections. I gave them a 5 out of 10, mainly because, I'll give them this. T-shirts and hoodies, they make sense for what they're doing. I think they could elevate it, potentially make a lot more profits as well if they would choose like all over printed hoodies or car seat covers, just products that are going to make them a little bit more profit in the long run, and they can still do that clothing line type of thing on their store, but they would just be choosing better types of apparel that are more high profit. Next up is the designs. I gave them an 8 out of 10. I think they've done a nice job. Some of them have that stacked quote look, and what I mean by that is if you look at some of their designs is they have a stacked quote look. A lot of times when people are creating print-on-demand designs, they will basically go from top to bottom and they will do a quote that is stacked with some sort of icon in there as well. They've done a nice job at it though. What they've done is they've actually added some really cool fonts. They've given some cool effects to it as well. You can see here that this overall design has like a weathered look to it, where the whole thing is sort of faded in different areas. A lot of times when people do this sort of thing and they don't do it well, they make it sort of look like it is clip art. They just have really basic text with like really simple graphics that don't have any effects on them. So overall, I think that this store, like I said, with their designs, even though they're doing this stacked quote look, they've done a nice job at keeping it fresh and making them actually look good. All right, so final ratings here for the store. Homepage brand, they got an 8. Product page, they got a 4. Social media, a 7. Niche, a 10. Product choices, a 5. And designs, they got an 8, which gives them an overall of 7 Ninja stars. And again, this is rebelmaiden.com. This was submitted inside of the POD Ninjas Facebook group. If you want to get your store potentially reviewed like this in a video, you can check out that post that I make inside of the group, and that way I'll be able to see it, and every week I make a video like this. If you are someone that's just getting started, make sure to check out some of the other links down in the description. At this point, people that have gone through my private training and coaching have made about $5 million on their own stores. And like I said, you can check out the links down in the description to see some of the things that I offer if you were looking for help with your store. But let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and check out some of the other things that I have posted. I have tons of different store review videos and a bunch of different tutorials on how to have a successful print-on-demand store. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.